Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, The Blood Samurai. My name is Sam and today we're back playing Peglin. Now, I'm gonna showcase some of these new relics that were recently added. Slash changed because the Baladroit and the Spheroday's Fate are two relics that have been in the game for a while now, but they've been recently changed. The Faraday's Fate is a bit of an older change that was made, but it's still one of the more recent ones that, I mean, unless you use this on a regular basis, you may not have even noticed. So let's get into a game and I'll showcase it. And what better way to showcase it than with two new orbs that were recently added? The susceptible and the elusive circle. So the elusive circle adds a new. It comes with the new status effect, Belusion. So Belusion provides an X% chance to avoid any incoming attack. So you could, let's say you have 100 Belusion, you will completely block an attack that hits you. So whenever an enemy attacks you, it normally would deal damage. But if you have 100 Belusion, it'll completely make you avoid the attack. And that's kind of where some of these relics come into play. So whenever you evade an attack using Belusion, you gain 1 Spiness. So I can showcase that here soon. And then there's also whenever additional enemy spawns, you gain 10 Belusion. And then whenever a crit is triggered, gain 10 Belusion. So we'll try to activate a crit here soon. And at some point in time, I do want to showcase kind of how it works when you do dodge an attack. So I could actually probably just show that off now. Oh, never mind. I just decided to, guess I just changed my mind and wanted to destroy everything and didn't want to showcase anything yet. um, See anything new in the shop? Not really. Just kind of wanted to see if they changed anything in the shop, but it doesn't really seem like they have. So yeah, so the Faraday's Fate is it's a pretty easy one to notice. So now it has a limit. So it says, so before it was whenever 40 pigs were hit, now it's 30, but it has a huge nerf to it where it only has 100 uses. So now there's a major limit to how often, how often it can be used and abused, basically. And then we also have the Baladroit. So for every 10 bulwark you gain 1 must circle. Whenever another effect causes you to gain must circle, you gain 2 bulwark. So this will be extremely powerful for builds that are like bulwark builds, because you could have bulwark in combination with and with must circle. You could have those two together, combined together, and then just have an extremely powerful build that really is unstoppable, because you gain must circle and then you gain bulwark from gaining the must circle, and then you gain must circle from gaining bulwark. So they just pair extremely well together. So now I want to showcase here, if I can, without killing the enemy first, which I'm... Gosh dang it, I get so close. I think they also changed the protect orb, or maybe it was a different orb. There was a couple of nerfs as well that they came out with recently. And I believe it was the protect orb, maybe it was a separate one. Okay. But now I want to talk about the new status effect, exploitable. Now, what exploitable does is it makes it so that enemies that have exploded ball receive 10% extra damage per stack. So each stack of exploded ball that an enemy has, it takes an extra 10%. So if it had, like, 5 exploited ball, it would take 50% extra damage because, yeah. Um, okay, and you can see right here. So it's like I took damage twice, and both times the Blusion uh, blocked it. So I went from, I think, like 128 down to, yeah, see right there? I had 42 right there, and it dropped down to 21 because I took a bit of damage, but my Blusion blocked it. So that kind of showcases the Blusion. Um, and yeah, I mean, then there's some other ones that I definitely want to show off at some point as well. There's some ideas that I have with the with some of these relics, especially to do with the Blusion. I have some ideas in mind for future videos, and I'm very curious how it will turn out. But for the time being, we're just gonna try to build up my Blusion. The only problem that I really see with the Blusion build is the lack of damage. The lack of damage is pretty brutal for the Blusion. It very much so is quite the hindrance for this build, for its success. The extra spiness though should hopefully do wonders for this build. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, is that the spiness will kind of counteract the lack of damage and really help out this build and give it the necessary damage that this build is really looking for, and it could just it could definitely use quite the quite the overhaul when it comes to damage. So that's really what I'm hoping that this relic will be able to provide in future builds, because like I said, I have future ideas for the Blusion, and it will definitely involve using things like that, where using these types of these types of relics, stuff like that. So I'm hoping that it will give Blusion builds a bit more viability, even when their damage isn't the greatest. Right now, since I have some pretty strong relics, um, the viability for the build is pretty good. Um, so it's not the most accurate representation of, if you were in a normal game, but but you could easily get all these relics in a normal game anyways. Um, yeah. So it's not like I'm doing something that isn't possible to get in a normal game. Like, all of this stuff is very much so possible to get in a normal game. The Blusion is definitely my favorite. I want to hopefully get something that gives ball work soon, so I can kind of showcase that a little bit more. Um, but I don't know if I will be able to, so I'm not really getting anything that gives ball work. Don't remember. I believe you can get it with the round drill. I don't think they specifically made it so that only the ballad can get it, but I don't remember. I wish I did. Wish I could remember if they made that change or not. Yeah, the Blusion is just so good. I mean, because you can build up a good amount of Blusion relatively quickly. Um, and it just goes so well with literally every aspect of the build. It very much so is. I mean, it's definitely very strong when you can get the build going. It's just, actually getting the build going, which does take a bit of time and effort. Um, that can be quite annoying sometimes. We'll go with this. Now I've gotten to a point where it's not quite as possible to get everything because, I mean, you can still get, multiple boss stuff, but now we're kind of getting into the realm of things are getting a little unrealistic. And I wish the Faraday's fate wasn't quite so limited. I wish it did have a little bit more wiggle room. But you know, I guess before it did allow me to create a video that made it so that um, you could generate infinite orbs. So I guess they were like that might be a little too strong of a relic. Let's nerf it. So I guess I can see why they did what they did, but still, like, whatever. It is what it is. They did what they did for a reason, and I understand. Okay. So you can definitely see how that exploitable is coming in clutch. Because I mean, 70% more damage from critting is insane. So it really is quite handy to have things like this. And then for every crit that you activate. Okay, well now things are getting a little crazy, and this is where the nerf to the Faraday's fate kind of comes into play. And if you had this with the aliens rock, then this would make the build even stronger because it would hit uh, nearby enemies. So now this is actually an AoE attack as well. At least you could make it an AoE attack is basically what I'm saying. So yeah, if I can get some ball work, I mean, I could go into a separate run and show. That's what I'll do. Okay, so we have that one now. I showed that off a little bit. But now let's really get into the ball work aspect of this stuff. Because you can get, if you get like if you have ball work remaining after you're attacked, you can get these in a normal run, in a normal game. And then there's some other ones that, like this one, whenever a ball work is gained. I guess I did skip a few bulwark orbs in the last thing. That for whatever reason, in my brain that didn't register. Then you have whenever a bulwark is destroyed, whenever it is created, things like that will play into the bulwark build. Um, and then I believe there's an orb somewhere. So yeah, I don't have every orb unlocked as you can see, but I do have most. So generally speaking, if an orb is here, um, I think I'm just missing it because I feel like I've definitely used it before. But basically the orb that I'm looking for would create. Well, I guess I could just use the protect orb. Why not? Basically what I was looking for was the orb that creates the little things, the little shields on the pegs. And that's the orb that I was looking for, but either I have it and I just don't remember what it looks like, so I'm like completely glancing over it, or I don't have it, which is fine. I'll try to get it at a future point in time. No, I could use the buck lord instead, because at least this would deal damage. So I could actually go with this instead, which I think is what I'll do, because it'll deal damage. Okay, maybe just go for like some blindness. Yep. So now, whenever you lose all your ball work, whenever you gain must circle, um, so yeah, I mean, I guess I could go back, it's fine. This type of build will do fine. Um, Definitely could use a little bit more money to kind of build up my ball work, but yeah, this just kind of showcases. Just trying to kind of showcase some of these builds that you could end up getting, which can be pretty strong at times. Um, something like this where you're generating ball work with some orbs. Obviously, the protect orb would be a little bit better because it would be generating more ball work, which would then more so play into the Baladroit. But at the same time, you'd be generating that that must circle, and you couldn't, actually use the must circle, which sucks because um because you wouldn't be able to get any ball, you wouldn't be able to get any you get the must circle, but you wouldn't be able to what am I trying to say? You wouldn't be able to use it because you'd have the protect orbs, and the protect orbs don't deal damage. So while it would be generating more than these ones would, it's generating more must circle than these ones would be. It also becomes kind of useless unless you're using like a different orb on top of the protect orbs. But otherwise, it's completely useless. I don't really need the chess, um, so I'm just gonna kind of just go through and so yeah, you can really get a sense for how strong of a build this could definitely be, because yeah, I mean like you have scaling damage on top of scaling block, so you don't take damage, and then whenever you lose the ball work, so you basically like as long as you're generating ball work, you increase your damage. when you lose the bulwark that you've generated, you're gaining damage. So it's either way you're going to be gaining damage no matter what happens. No matter it whether or not you lose the bulwark or you keep it, you're going to be gaining more and more damage. So that's why this build becomes extremely powerful very, 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 very quickly. Um, we'll go with this. Um, so yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to show off was the new Baladroit and kind of how that works now. Because these things are pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, I wanted to show off that, and you can also get a sense of the other and new relics that were added. Because I think that they're actually quite interesting when you think about it. It's like it's fairly new things that haven't really nothing like it has really been seen. So it having Delusion, I mean, I guess you can kind of almost argue that the blindness is similar to it, but at the same time it definitely differs by quite a bit. Um and then yeah, just some of the changes and all that good stuff. Um, so bulwark builds are definitely going to be a lot stronger now. Even though they consider the Baladroit, I believe they consider it to be a nerf. Maybe it was just a change. Maybe they considered it a nerf. I don't fully remember what they consider it to be, but I feel like it's quite a big buff. Um, but they can call it whatever they want to call it, I guess. Uh, like I said, I don't fully remember what they called it, but yeah, that on top of all the other relics that you can get now, and just how strong everything is at this point, it's gonna be, it's gonna make for some pretty interesting builds, and I very much so am looking forward to what things are gonna be like in the future for this game, because things are gonna start builds are going to start evolving and changing based on the new things that are being added to Peglin, and I think it's going to be a pretty exciting time. So, if you guys enjoyed today's video of Peglin and kind of my showcase of these new relics and some of the relic changes that have been made in recent days, then please leave a like on the video. And I, at the time of this recording, I actually reached 100 subscribers. So this is kind of going to be a 100 subscriber special. On top of, I'm going to be doing a stream later tonight. And I'm gonna be playing a game. I'm gonna be playing Endless Dungeon with the 20-minute gamer, Lantern Nick. Depends on what you guys know him by, but I'm gonna be playing Endless Dungeon with him later. And yeah, that's gonna be a pretty good time. So I hope you guys uh, join us for that stream, because yeah, he's gonna be streaming. I'm gonna be joining him for that, and then I'm gonna have my own stream going at night. I'm still kind of trying to figure out what games I'm gonna be playing for that, but I'll get it figured out. And yeah, my name is Sam, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care.